The sun had been cruel that year. It scorched the earth until even the rivers forgot how to flow. In the small village of Ndalama, farmers stood over cracked fields, their hoes sinking into dust instead of soil. Cattle moaned. Children searched for shade that didn't exist. And in the heart of it all lived an old farmer named Baba Tembo, a man whose hands had known both abundance and famine. One morning, as Baba Tembo rummaged through his old calabash jars, he found something, a single, shriveled seed of maize. It was dry, almost lifeless, a forgotten remnant of better days. His daughter, Amahle, laughed softly when she saw it. "Father, that seed is dead," she said. "It's been in that gourd for years." Tembo turned the seed between his fingers, his cracked palms trembling. "Maybe," he said slowly, "but sometimes, what looks dead is only waiting for the right rain." Amahle sighed. "Even if it grows, what good is one plant?" The old man smiled faintly. "One seed is enough, if it refuses to die." That night, when the moon rose like a pale lantern, Baba Tembo walked to his barren field. The ground was hard, and the air still. He dug a small hole and placed the seed inside, whispering a prayer his father once taught him: "O earth, cradle this life. When the rain forgets us, remember us." Days passed. Nothing grew. The villagers mocked him gently. "Tembo is planting ghosts again." But every dawn, he came to that same spot, touching the soil, speaking to it as if it could hear. "A seed listens," he would say. "If you believe long enough, it remembers how to live." One morning, as Amahle fetched water, she froze mid-step. There, breaking through the cracked ground, was a tiny sprout. Thin, fragile, trembling in the breeze. She ran to her father. "Baba, come quickly." When he saw it, Tembo dropped to his knees, tears filling his old eyes. He didn't shout or dance. He simply touched the leaf with reverence, as if touching the hand of God. "It heard me," he whispered. "It remembered." The news spread through the village. Children came to look at the little plant. Some laughed. Some were silent. But every morning afterward, people came to see if it had grown taller, as though their own hope was buried in that soil. Weeks later, when the plant had grown waist-high, a storm came, not of rain, but of wind and fire. A careless hunter's torch had set the dry grass ablaze. Flames devoured the hillsides. Tembo and Amahle ran to the field, but the fire was too fierce. In moments, everything was ash. Amahle fell to her knees and wept. "It's gone, Baba. All of it." Tembo stood in silence, his face streaked with soot. For a long time, he said nothing. Then, softly, he replied, "Sometimes, the earth must burn, before it learns how to bloom again." He went back to his hut, eyes hollow but faith unbroken. When the rains finally returned 2 weeks later, they came not as a drizzle, but as a flood of grace. The parched soil drank greedily, steam rising like breath from the ground. And then, something strange happened. At the edge of the burned field, small green shoots began to emerge, not one, but many. The fire had cracked open the seed's hidden strength, scattering it through the wind and ash. Now, dozens of plants sprouted where once there had been only one. The dead seed had not only survived, it had multiplied. Months later, Baba Tembo's once barren land shimmered with golden maize. The villagers came to him in wonder. "How did it live?" they asked. He smiled, resting on his hoe. "Because it refused to die," he said. "Because it believed in what we forgot, that life does not end in darkness. It hides, waiting for light." Amahle stood beside him, watching the wind ripple through the corn. She finally understood. Her father had not just planted a seed. He had planted faith. Years later, when Baba Tembo passed away, Amahle continued to tend the fields. Every year, she would save one seed from the harvest, a single kernel she'd dry carefully and keep in her father's old calabash. And when people asked her why, she would smile and say, because somewhere, a seed is always waiting, to prove that it never truly dies. Please, if you are new here, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button for more interesting stories.